I'm Harold Carver, and with the help of artificial intelligence, we bring this story to life for you. Witness the tragic flames that consumed the Library of Alexandria, a tale fully revealed in my book. For nearly 2.5 millennia, the shadow of the Great Library looms, knowledge and its catastrophic extinguishment. We are told of unparalleled brilliance, followed by unspeakable destruction. This narrative is a foundational myth, a cautionary tale about civilization's fragility. The library did not vanish in a single cataclysm, but succumbed to a slow, grinding process of institutional decay over 7 centuries. Its mythos mirrors our deepest anxieties about losing what we value. The silence of Alexandria is not. To understand this institution's true fate, we must peel back myth layers to reveal the gritty, often mundane reality of its long, slow fade into history. To understand the library, we must first reconstruct the city itself. Much is filtered through romanticized texts, blurring the line between historical and legendary Alexandria. Yet, material conditions allowing hundreds of thousands of scrolls were not fate. Alexandria was a machine with a rational urban grid. Its engine converted Nile grain into learning currency. Alexander the Great arrived on the Nile Delta coast, seeking to transform a precarious spot between the Mediterranean and Lake Moerotis. This location created a new Athens answering directly to the king. Learn how this city shaped history on Amazon. Ambition birthing the Great Library was never merely academic. Alexander's death in 323 BC, Egypt was a fractured satrapy. Ptolemy Isota, a general vying for power, faced securing loyalty from Egyptians and asserting cultural supremacy over Athens. I believe the library was the culmination of a deliberate propaganda campaign, beginning when Ptolemy established Alexandria. He understood military might secure the throne, while the institutional peak arrived under his son Ptolemy I said Philadelphus. Shifting intellectual authority from Athens to Alexandria was engineered. Consequently, the library's fate was bound to the dynasty's health. This structural relationship defined the library's entire existence. To understand the Great Library, we must dismantle the modern architectural image of a singular. This anachronistic projection obscures the institution's fundamental nature, derived from the Muses. Unlike later pedagogical centers, the Ptolemaic Mausoleum was a sanctuary where gods of inspiration actively participated in intellectual labor. It was a community of scholars living, dining, and worshipping together, bound by shared vocation under the Muses and Ptolemaic kings. Her library was the physical manifestation of this communal life. Integrating living, eating, reading, and worshipping into one space was a powerful statement about intellectual life. It rejected the idea that the mind operates in isolation, recognizing that to sustain a scholar, explore this unique community on Amazon. The true engine of the library's initial success lay not in stone foundations, but in human intellects recruited to steward its collections. The first century, from the first head librarian's appointment around 285 BC, represents frenetic energy where textual criticism and bibliography were invented. Men like Xenodotus of Ephesus, Apollonius of Rhodes, and Callimachus of Cyrene were aggressive editors imposing order on the chaotic Greek literary landscape. Before their intervention, Homeric epics were rife with inconsistencies from centuries of oral transmission. These scholars subjected texts to unprecedented regimentation, transforming the library into an active laboratory. The tragedy of Alexandria is that it proved knowledge could be created. We have fragments telling of a man with a scroll wondering if a line was right. Find these stories on Amazon. While Aristarchus stood as a colossus of textual criticism, Callimachus of Cyrene emerged as the architect of the information retrieval system. Library from collapsing. Without a map, a library is merely a warehouse. Callimachus, working in the 3rd century BC, drew that map with his Pinaeus tables. Though the text is lost, reconstructing it reveals Ptolemaic scholarly methodology. It was not merely a book list, but a biographical and critical survey organizing knowledge by genre and author. Physical holdings from conservative estimates of 30,000 to extravagant claims of 700,000 scrolls. The scroll was fragile, subject to rot. Callimachus transformed cataloging into critical inquiry, deciding what to keep. The Pinaeus mirrors our limitations and potential. It testifies to the enduring human need to impose order on chaos. Discover the Pinaeus legacy on Amazon. The intellectual landscape of the 3rd and 2nd centuries BC was defined by rigorous text dissection. While monarchs gathered heritage, Aristarchus of Samothrace emerged as the paramount exemplar of the new philological method. Born on Samothrace, he studied under Aristophanes of Byzantium and became head of the library around 180 BCE, serving until his death in 143 BC. Unlike allegorical interpreters, Aristarchus approached text as a self-contained artifact governed by internal logic. This shift demanded scholars submit to the text rather than the interpreter's system. We are heirs of the library, building new editions. The fire is not in the building, it is in memory. We must be vigilant, for when light goes out, the popular imagination fixates on the library as a fortress of papyrus rolls. Scholars were active interrogators of the natural world. Viewing the library solely through philology ignores the laboratory existing alongside the scriptorium. The Ptolemaic dynasty provided material conditions for scientific inquiry unmatched. Scientific progress is fragile. Figures like Hipparchus and Eratosthenes measured Earth's circumference. In medicine, Herophilus of Chalcedon and Erasistratus of Chios undertook systematic anatomical investigations. Herophilus named the duodenum and described the brain as the soul's seat. The library narrative is punctuated by images of smoke and ash. The first major alleged destruction occurred within a civil war shadow in 48 BC. Gaius Julius Caesar, pursuing Pompey into Egypt, found himself ensnared in dynastic quarrels. Young Ptolemy Chovy viewed the Roman proconsul as an intrusion, leading to a stalemate confining Caesar to the royal quarter, the Bruchion. This district, housing palaces, the Mausian and the Great Library, the siege lasted from late 48 BC into 47 BC, marked by starvation. Within this volatile environment, the harbor caught fire. Accounts are retrospective narratives filtered through Roman moralizing. The royal quarter occupied the northeast sector, and fires were likely a strategic necessity. It was a dark moment, but not the end of the light. The transition from Ptolemaic to Roman rule in 30 BC constituted a fundamental restructuring of the political architecture sustaining the Great Library. With the Ptolemy's death, the institution lost its primary benefactor. Under the early Roman Empire, Egypt became the emperor's personal domain, administered by prefects prioritizing grain extraction over scholarship. For nearly 2 centuries, the library did not vanish in a cataclysm nor function with former vigor. Physical infrastructure likely remained. These are reliable witnesses Strabo. In his Geographica, he details porticos, lecture halls. He describes facilities but omits the vibrant scholarly community. The institution survived, but was a shadow, withering in a distant capital's shadows. The 3rd century Sioux was a time of profound instability, the crisis of the 3rd century, where central authority wobbled under invasion and civil war. By 260, the empire was fracturing. His assassination in 267 marked a turning point as his widow. For Alexandria, this shift was seismic. The Palmyrene occupation introduced a culturally hybrid but potentially destabilizing political reality for the Greek intellectual hierarchy. Zenobia needed the city's logistical output, requiring elite cooperation and infrastructure integrity. However, conflict with Emperor Aurelian, the city was sacked, and the Bruchion quarter, home to the library, was devastated. The library withered in shadows, stories scattered. Preservation requires constant vigilance. even great institution. The narrative of the Arab conquest in 602 Su served as the most potent focal point in library history, depicting the final extinguishing of classical antiquity's torch. Legend tells of Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab ordering remaining scrolls burned to heat city baths for 6 months. This account is historical distortion, a literary construct from later anxieties. The Arab conquest altered demographics, yet specific intellectual institution fates remain obscure. The truth is more powerful. The Library of Alexandria was not destroyed but transformed. This is a story of continuity from the Hellenistic world through the Islamic world to the modern era. This continuity is the true legacy, far more significant than tales of fire and ash. For nearly 2.5 millennia, the tale has haunted our imagination. The distinction between myth and gradual decline is key. We must build institutions as open as the Maushin. If this gripped you, the complete story, the full evidence and Harold Carver's own conclusions, is laid out in his book on the Library of Alexandria, The Burning of Human Knowledge, linked right below this video. Subscribe now. Every week, we reopen a mystery that history left unsolved. Thank you for watching. Get The Library of Alexandria, The Burning of Human Knowledge by Harold Carver on Amazon. The link is in the description. And subscribe for a new investigation every week.